Welcome back to Practical Parenting, the podcast that helps empower parents in the trenches find joy in the process and thrive through it all. I'm Christina Wales, here with my co-host, Dr. Terry Nguyen, Chair of Pediatrics at GBMC Healthcare. So we are coming up on summer camps, which, with two working parents, common that kids are having to go, to summer camps during the day. But, maybe their friends aren't in the summer camp with them, or they're nervous about going to a new place, or any of the number of anxieties we could run through that might potentially come up. So, we're going to do something similar in today's Microdose episode that we've done in the past. We're going to outline a scenario. Kids nervous about going to summer camp. They won't know anyone. How should a parent react to that anxiety and help them work them through it in a positive, connected way? So do we want to do a little role playing again and maybe do a traditional reaction, and then we can break it down what we could do better?
Yeah. I think it was really fun the last time we did that. I winced a little bit when I had to listen to my part, but you were a great parent in both scenarios.
Thanks. Well, let's give it a try again. So, okay,
I'm the crazy kid. I love doing that because, I have a lot of material to work from in my day job.
A lot of inspiration, yeah.
Yeah, I do. So I really appreciate that opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to be a child who is told they're going to sleepaway camp, and, and I don't know a soul. Okay. Mom, no. I can't go to camp where I don't know anybody, and I have to sleep over at the camp for a whole week. Mom, no, I'm not going. I'm sorry, can't go. I don't care if they have all these great fun activities. I'm not even seeing you at the end of the day. I can't go.
Your dad and I did it. It was such a good experience. We had such positive stuff. You'll make friends as soon as you get there. It's such a good time. And, Dad and I both have to work. So, we have to. There's nobody to take care of you during the day.
I'll stay home by myself.
We can't let you do that. But I promise it'll be fine. You'll meet tons of friends. We did it, and it was so great. I still remember my time at camp, just like doing the lake and doing art projects. You're going to meet so many friends.
What if nobody talks to me? What if nobody wants to be my friend?
Oh, they will. They will. I promise.
I mean, I just want to read. I don't have to do all those activities, and I haven't done some of those activities. Those are scary, too.
Yeah, but you're going to have a ton of fun. I wouldn't worry about it. End scene. How was I?
You were very positive. I love the positivity.
I think that's where the positivity ends.
Yeah. And, there is no, right way to do this. Mm-hmm. So that I want to emphasize with parents. Never feel like if you're being positive about it and trying to be encouraging that you're doing something wrong. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. But then there's the other part of it, right? So you have to acknowledge, and I think that was missing, was there wasn't an acknowledgement of your child's fear. Mm-hmm. It was really, you were going back to how much fun it was, your experience, but that's your story. Mm-hmm. Their experience right now is they're gripped with fear because they're going somewhere new, they don't know anybody, and they don't even get to see you at the end of the day. And it's a whole week. It's not just 1 day or 2 days, right? So you haven't acknowledged or validated the discomfort behind that for your child. And it's really real. I mean, don't we all feel a little uncomfortable if we're going to a party where, you don't know anyone, but you have to do it. It's work, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have to do it because, somebody asked you to go. Yeah, we have that. And how do we work through it? So how do we help our kids work through it? So you have to validate their feelings, listen and hear them out. Because, sometimes we're so quick to want to jump in and go, it's going to be okay. I mean, it was so much fun. I'm still gripped in fear.
Right.
I can't think of fun right now. That scenario looks like it's monstrous. Mm-hmm. It's unbearable, right? Like every fight or flight neuron in my body is, synapsing and jumping off the roof here. And then, so first you validate them. You have to listen first. Listen, let them get all of their angst out. And then you have to validate them. And then facilitate how we're going to work through this.
Mm-hmm.
Do different scenarios with them. This is the thing. So what would happen if, you didn't like this? What would you do? Play through the scenarios that they're
Mm-hmm.
fearful of, seriously. And so that they kind of have a plan in their head.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do if this came up. I have a plan. The fear is the not knowing and feeling that you don't have control. But if you have alternate plans for the things that you're fearful might happen, and they may actually happen, right? How is your child going to push through that scenario? And if they're equipped with a way out or a way to survive the situation and know that they have a plan, it's a little bit more doable. It's all the fear and the anxiety is in the unknown and not having the control.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can work through the scenarios of fear with the child, and so what might you do, and let them come up with it, and then, you can facilitate it one way or the other. But that in itself, having worked through it, gives a level of comfort like, oh, if that happens, I'll do this. And if that happens, and then also to emphasize that if it happens, you're actually not going to die because that's what your body is signaling to you. Like, if this happens where nobody talks to me, I'm going to die. Well, actually, you're not going to die. And what are things that you could do to approach someone and try to start up a conversation? Maybe you're not really into like that big group, but there's probably one or two people that you could approach. Yet you could figure like, that seems like my kind of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you approach one person, not the whole. If you're looking at the whole big group, it is like, oh my gosh, overwhelming. This is me in the shopping mall at Christmas time. I see all the possibilities and I am so overwhelmed. But if I could go to one small store, find one small, and that was focused,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be okay.
The two other things I like are, one, if you can find or talk them through the similarities and the differences. So, like, what do you think will be the same about, your sleeping situation, and they say, oh, well, there's going to be a bed at camp. There's a bed at my house. There's going to be this at home. I can, bring a book at home just like I have at home, and find where there's going to be similarities and differences. I feel like that de-escalates a little bit because then it's not so big.
Yeah.
There's just but there's things that they can hang on to that feel familiar. And then finding out, if you can, a sleepaway camp might be hard, but maybe finding where certain things are or what the setup is or something that makes it feel, getting back to being in control, figuring out if there's something that you can in advance see and recognize. That's why I like in kindergarten where you can see the classroom. You can go in and familiarize yourself. So then when you go in on the first day, everything's not new. There's only a little bit that's new. And you can kind of walk them through and prep them a little bit.
Absolutely. So what to expect. And then, they should bring one or two safety comfort items from home. And, whether it's a stuffed animal, a special blanket, and then also help them with their mindset that instead of the fear that is, boiling in your stomach, in your chest, in your throat, in your head, how about excitement? Can we reframe it to like, how exciting can this be? I mean, like, be curious about it. Change it into curiosity. Like, oh, well, you might have been interested, but you haven't done that. So what do you think of trying this? And, there's a good chance that a lot of the kids or some of the kids or many of the children will not have done this either. So what might you need to do to just prepare for this activity, right? Because that will give them some more confidence as well. Like, okay, I've never done sailing before, but I know how to swim. So, what else would I need to do just to get acclimated to it? And so think of it as be curious, help them get curious about it rather than anxious about it, right? And help them prep for what it might be like and help them walk through the possible scenarios. And then also try to remind them of prior experiences where they were scared of something or really anxious about something, and they rocked it. Okay? Because those memories, sometimes they don't remember when they're in a new situation, because our body always goes back to, oh my gosh, it's the fear response and it's important, right? But nothing, that's what protects us, right? If you're, that's a very protective mechanism in our body, but it doesn't have to be in every scenario that's new to us. So bring that into the picture as well. Give them examples of when they've succeeded in doing things or mastering a skill or mastering a skill that they thought they couldn't overcome. Like, oh, remember that first day of kindergarten? It was so scary. You didn't know anybody. But at the end of the day, you barely wanted to leave your friends. Yeah. Or the birthday party or the new team, right? And then help remind them of these scenarios so that they can build up on it for future unknowns.
And using your own personal example isn't a bad thing. How I framed it was not the most connected way to do it. But I think if you use it in a sense where you're like, I was really nervous about camp too. Like, my children will ask me occasionally if something new happens, Mommy, did you go through this? Did you experience this? And I'll be able to say, oh yeah, I was really nervous, but you don't have to be dismissive of it, but I got through it and it was, but get in there with them so you can talk about the feelings and how that felt and, kind
Absolutely.
of more sharing, less talking at. If
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And my eyes lit up. I said, yes, that's, you're spot on right there, right? You can share your experience, but you're putting yourself in their shoes, right? So you're meeting them where they are and going, oh yeah, what you're telling me, that feeling of nervousness, I've experienced something similar. Tell me more about yours. So can I share with you what I did to help myself kind of move along in that situation? Because then you're asking permission to share. And then they're like, yeah, what'd you do? And then, you can walk them through. And that's similar to, having the scenario and then facilitating how they would walk through that, that new experience, right? And over time, they will have built up this stock of surviving and thriving through those new experiences and those new transitions, right? It's going to school, going to camp, new club, new sports team, new club, whatever. It's the first reaction we have is like fear-stricken. I'm going to die. And then, but you have now a history as time goes on with your child. They have a whole build-up stack of cards that they can refer to that you can help them remind them after you've validated them, right? That, look, remember you did that. Remember that was, and they're like, yay, you're right, I did it. Okay, yeah, I think I can give this a try.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, good luck with your conversations about summer camp and sleepaway camp, and let us know how they go.
Yes. And if you have some helpful tips, please write into us or let us know and we'll share it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Great.
All right. See you next time.
Bye. Thanks, Christina.